The Young and the Restless spoilers Wednesday, June 17. Nikki explodes, Devon issues a threat and Jack's risky scheme intensifies. Nikki unleashes her fury over Chancellor, Devon puts Cane on notice, and Jack takes bold action to save Diane. This article contains spoilers for the upcoming episode of The Young and the Restless, airing Tuesday, June 16 in Canada and Wednesday, June 17 in the United States. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, June 17, reveal some explosive moments on the horizon. Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, unleashes her rage on someone, while Devon Hamilton-Winters, Brighton James, issues a threat. Plus, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, jumps into action. Learn more about what's going down during Wednesday's show, below. Key takeaways. Nikki lashes out at Lily over Chancellor Industries and Cane's new leadership role. Nikki's worsening headaches could become a serious concern after the heated confrontation. Devon warns Cane to stay in line and not hurt Lily again. Jack continues his dangerous plan to manipulate Patty in hopes of finding Diane. The Abbott family rallies behind Jack as his high-stakes rescue mission gains momentum. Nikki Newman's rage. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, June 17, hint that Nikki will lash out at Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil. Now this is rich, isn't it? Nikki will likely be upset that Lily now has control of Chancellor Industries, and that she's placed Cane Ashby, Billy Flynn, in charge, so raise your hand if you think the Newman matriarch is being a tad hypocritical. After all, it wasn't that long ago that Nikki tricked Lily into helping her and Victor Newman, Eric Braden, add Chancellor to the Newman Enterprises portfolio. The duo promised Lily that she would run it, only to hand over the reins to Nikki. Lily won't care much about Nikki's rage, but will Nikki be okay after the confrontation? She has had some terrible headaches, so could she end up collapsing or something of that sort? Devon Hamilton-Winters threat. Speaking of Cane, Devon will issue a threat to the former Aristotle Dumas. Devon isn't sold on Cane's promise that he's changed, and he's also fiercely protective of Lily and is afraid she's going to get hurt by her ex, again. Devon won't be pleased that Cane is running Chancellor, so he may fire a warning shot to ensure the man stays on track. The Young and the Restless spoilers Wednesday, June 17, Nikki explodes, Devon issues a threat and Jack's risky scheme intensifies. Jack Abbott takes control. Lastly, the Young and the Restless spoilers for June 17 suggest that Jack will take matters into his own hands. He already hit the ground running with this during the Tuesday, June 16 show when he decided to fool Patty Williams, Stacey Hayduke, into believing he's giving their romance a go, all in an attempt to save Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters. Patty has a doctor friend, Dr. Laurence Markham, Jerry Burns, who is holding Diane hostage but telling the woman she's under mental health care for a breakdown. Jack wants nothing more than for Diane to come home, safe and sound, and he's going to extreme lengths to do so. Jack wrangled the Abbott family during the June 16 episode to tell them about his plan, and inform them that Patty was moving in, so it'll be interesting to see what he's up to during the June 17 show. What storyline are you most interested in seeing unfold on Wednesday? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. In Genoa City, the tension is rising fast as Jack Abbott finds himself pulled deeper into a dangerous and emotional trap. What started as a rescue mission has now turned into something far more complicated, where every decision could cost him everything. Jack Abbott is not the same man he used to be. His focus is locked on one goal: finding Diane Jenkins Abbott and bringing her home safely. But the situation surrounding Diane's disappearance is far from simple. Behind the scenes, a disturbing web of manipulation and control is slowly unfolding, and Jack is right in the middle of it. Patty Williams is once again at the center of chaos. Her behavior is becoming more intense, more demanding, and more unpredictable with every passing moment. What began as manipulation has now turned into a full-blown obsession. Patty is convinced she can rebuild a life with Jack, and she is pushing hard to make that fantasy real. She's already making demands inside the Abbott mansion, insisting on control, space, and ultimately, Jack's attention. But Jack is not playing along willingly. Everything he does with Patty is part of a much larger strategy, a risky attempt to uncover the truth about Diane's location. Still, the line between strategy and reality is starting to blur. Patty is becoming more emotionally aggressive, and her expectations are growing by the hour. At the same time, Diane's situation remains uncertain. She is trapped in a confusing environment where nothing feels fully real. A mysterious figure, Dr. Laurence Markham, is slowly influencing her perception of reality, making her question what is true and what is not. The psychological pressure is building, and Diane is beginning to feel isolated, confused, and vulnerable. Back in the Abbott family circle, concern is turning into urgency. Jack, Kyle, and Tracy are beginning to connect the dots, and they all sense that something is deeply wrong. Patty Williams is quickly becoming the main suspect in Diane's disappearance, but the truth may be far more complicated than anyone realizes. And just when things seem to settle into one direction, a new mystery begins to surface, hints of another presence, another influence working behind the scenes. Someone is helping shape this entire situation from the shadows, and their identity could change everything. In Genoa City, nothing is as it seems, and every secret is leading to a much darker truth. The pressure on Jack Abbott continues to grow as Patty Williams tightens her grip on the situation inside the Abbott mansion. What once felt like a calculated plan is now turning into an emotional battlefield where Jack must constantly walk a thin line between control and collapse. Patty is no longer hiding what she wants. Her obsession with Jack is becoming more direct, more demanding, and far more dangerous. She is not just interested in attention anymore, she wants commitment, intimacy, and complete control over the fantasy she has built in her mind. Inside her world, Jack already belongs to her, and she expects him to act like it. This is where things become extremely complicated for Jack. Every interaction he has with Patty is part of a larger strategy to uncover the truth about Diane Jenkins Abbott's disappearance. But the problem is, Patty is not behaving like someone who can be easily manipulated. She is emotionally unstable, unpredictable, and convinced that her relationship with Jack is real. As the situation escalates, Patty begins making bold demands inside the mansion. She pushes for privacy, control over the space, and the removal of anyone she sees as an obstacle. Her goal is simple: isolate Jack completely so that no one can interfere with her version of reality. And once that happens, she believes nothing will stop their relationship from moving forward. Jack, however, is deeply uncomfortable. He remembers the past too clearly, especially the yacht incident, where Patty's actions already crossed dangerous boundaries. That night continues to haunt him, not only because of what happened, but because of how quickly everything spiraled out of control afterward. Now Patty is hinting at repeating history. She wants to recreate those moments, pushing the idea of intimacy once again. But this time, there is no excuse, no manipulation, and no drugs involved. That makes the situation far more dangerous for Jack, because any wrong move could destroy everything he is trying to protect. Meanwhile, Jack's real mission remains unchanged. Diane is still missing, and every second counts. He knows that pushing Patty too far could risk losing access to critical information. But giving in could also destroy his marriage and his future with Diane forever. It becomes a psychological war: patience versus pressure, strategy versus emotion. Jack must decide how far he is willing to go before the line between acting and becoming part of Patty's fantasy disappears completely. And as Patty's demands grow stronger, one thing becomes clear: this situation is no longer just about rescue, it is about survival inside a dangerous emotional trap. Far away from the tension building at the Abbott mansion, Diane Jenkins Abbott is trapped in a situation that is becoming more disturbing with each passing moment. What appears on the surface to be a safe environment is slowly revealing itself as something far more controlling and psychologically damaging. Diane is under the watch of Dr. Laurence Markham, a man who presents himself as calm, professional, and reassuring. But behind that calm exterior, there is something deeply unsettling happening. Diane is being carefully guided into questioning her own memory, her own actions, and even her own sanity. Every conversation feels calculated. Every explanation seems designed to make her doubt what she knows. Instead of clear answers, she is given suggestions, interpretations, and gentle corrections that slowly reshape her understanding of reality. It is not forceful, it is subtle, controlled, and extremely dangerous. Diane tries to hold on to her identity. She remembers Jack, her family, and the life she fought so hard to build. But the environment around her is designed to weaken those connections. Small details, unfamiliar surroundings, and confusing conversations all work together to create a growing sense of uncertainty. At times, Diane feels as if she is recovering from a breakdown she cannot fully remember. At other times, she feels like she is being watched, studied, and evaluated like a subject rather than a person. This constant shift in perception makes it difficult for her to trust anything, including her own thoughts. As the days pass, Diane begins to realize she is not simply being held somewhere physically. She is also being trapped mentally. The psychological pressure is just as strong as the physical isolation. And that is what makes her situation so dangerous. There are also strange signs inside her surroundings, subtle clues that suggest she is not the only person involved in this setup. Books, references, and indirect hints point toward a larger connection, one that may involve another identity entirely. Something about the name Laurent keeps appearing in ways that feel too intentional to ignore. Diane's confusion continues to grow, and with it comes fear. Not just fear of her situation, but fear of losing her grip on reality itself. And that may be exactly what her captors are trying to achieve. In this nightmare of control and manipulation, Diane is left with only one question repeating in her mind: what is real, and what has been carefully constructed to break her? Back in Genoa City, the Abbott family is no longer treating Diane Jenkins Abbott's disappearance as a distant concern. It has become an urgent mission, one that demands action, coordination, and trust between family members who are all deeply affected by the situation. Jack Abbott takes the lead, determined to bring Diane home no matter what it takes. But he knows he cannot do it alone. He brings Kyle Abbott and Tracy Abbott into the situation, forming a united front as they begin connecting every possible clue that might point to Diane's location. What starts as concern quickly turns into suspicion. The more they analyze recent events, the more one name keeps appearing at the center of everything: Patty Williams. Her erratic behavior, her obsession with Jack, and her sudden presence in this chaos all raise serious red flags. The family begins to believe she is not just involved, but potentially responsible for orchestrating the entire situation. As they dig deeper, the pieces start forming a disturbing picture. This is not just a simple disappearance. It feels like a carefully constructed setup involving manipulation, psychological control, and possibly multiple people working together behind the scenes. At the same time, Diane's situation begins to show cracks in the illusion surrounding her captivity. Small inconsistencies in her environment start to stand out. Objects that seem oddly placed, conversations that repeat with subtle variations, and clues hidden in plain sight all suggest that someone has gone to great lengths to construct this controlled reality. One of the most intriguing discoveries comes from inside her surroundings: references linked to a mysterious figure associated with the name Laurent. These details are not random. They appear intentional, as if designed to plant doubt or guide Diane toward a specific conclusion without directly revealing the truth. Meanwhile, Jack is becoming more aggressive in his search strategy. He refuses to accept delays or dead ends. Every instinct he has tells him that Diane is close, but time is running out, and every wrong move could push her further away. The tension between action and uncertainty grows stronger within the Abbott family. They are close to answers, but not close enough to act without risk. And in a situation this delicate, one mistake could destroy everything they are trying to save. As secrets begin to surface and hidden connections tighten, the truth behind Diane's disappearance is starting to feel less like a mystery, and more like a trap carefully designed for the Abbotts themselves. As everything in Genoa City moves toward a breaking point, the situation surrounding Jack Abbott, Diane Jenkins Abbott, and Patty Williams reaches its most unstable stage yet. Every storyline, every secret, and every manipulation is now colliding at once, leaving no room for hesitation or second chances. Jack Abbott is fully locked into his mission. His priority remains the same: find Diane and bring her home safely. But the emotional and psychological toll of his double life is starting to show. The longer he stays inside Patty's world of obsession and control, the harder it becomes to separate strategy from reality. Patty Williams, meanwhile, is becoming more unpredictable than ever. Her emotional dependency on Jack has escalated into full obsession. She no longer sees boundaries in the traditional sense. In her mind, everything is already decided: Jack belongs with her, and nothing or no one will change that outcome. This belief pushes her to demand more closeness, more commitment, and more control over every interaction. At the same time, Diane Jenkins Abbott is reaching her own breaking point. The psychological pressure she is under continues to intensify as Dr. Laurence Markham's influence shapes her perception of reality. She is no longer just confused, she is actively questioning her own identity and whether her memories can even be trusted anymore. The deeper she falls into this mental fog, the more dangerous her situation becomes. But the biggest shock lies in the hidden layer of this entire setup. Clues pointing toward a larger conspiracy involving the Laurent name suggest that Patty may not be acting alone. There is a deeper manipulation at play, possibly involving someone who has been influencing events from behind the scenes all along. The truth is far more complex than a simple kidnapping or obsession, it is a carefully constructed psychological trap. Inside the Abbott family, urgency turns into action. Jack, Kyle, and Tracy are now fully aligned, refusing to let confusion slow them down any further. They are closer than ever to uncovering Diane's exact location, but the final steps are the most dangerous. One wrong move could expose their plan too early and put Diane in even greater danger. Jack is also facing his most difficult personal dilemma. Even if he successfully rescues Diane, the emotional damage caused by everything that has happened may not be reparable. The choices made during this crisis, especially any interactions with Patty, could permanently alter his marriage and his future. As all paths converge, the truth is finally within reach. But in true Genoa City fashion, the final revelation is not just about who is responsible, it is about how deeply the deception runs, and how many lives will be permanently changed once it all comes to light. In the end, nothing will ever be the same again. To the story end.